And welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Here we are, back at it again. Every single week, I sit down, I come in front of the microphone, I talk into the microphone, I edit a video, I put out the video, we do the microphone stuff again. we put it away, the opposite of the microphone, and we are doing it again. I'm Chad White, I'm your host. Episode 281 of the Constitutionals podcast, the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. I don't know if I said that part. It's like Schoolboy Q. All right. Seems like I just have Tourettes with song lyrics. That's what this show is. I think that might be the fastest, way to get to the title of the episode. Here we are, coming in hot. I'm going to the Fox Theater tonight. If you're listening to this show, if you're watching it, I'm going to the Fox Theater tonight. I'm finally seeing Hamilton. I was in early. I was telling somebody this morning at the gym. I was in early with Hamilton, mostly because Anthony Rapp, who is a Broadway star as well as television and film star. I don't know if I would call him a film star. I revert back to television. He appeared on this podcast that I listen to called Never Not Funny. And he, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to turn off these reactions. And he was talking and he mentioned, he's a friend of the show and and he mentioned this little tiny up and coming show that's coming out that year. He goes, have you ever heard of this Hamilton? It's going to be huge. And he bragged about it, and then the guys were like, oh, okay, wow. And then it came out, and it friggin' blew up. And I remember that, I believe that fall, or whenever the album came out, and it was on sale, I believe, on Google Play, when they still sold music, and I bought it. It's the one time I've ever sat down and bought like something. I didn't buy a lot of music off of Google Play. Some of it was iTunes. I know there's a lot of stuff that is still connected to my iTunes account, which used to be my sister's. She named it after both of us. That's very nice. She only had an iPod. I did not. And then I got an iPod when I in high school, the iPod Touch. And then she got her own another iTunes account. And then I just took this one. And there's a lot of free episodes of television on here. When they used to give away free episodes of TV, I have like the pilot to American Dad, and then like shows I would never watch. You know, it's like shows from Bravo and shows from like old Disney shows, canceled shows like Pan Am. I think I have the entire series of Pan Am because they gave it away, and I was like, free TV show. Anyway, it's a little history about me. All right, let's get into this episode. This comes from Variety, written by Rebecca Rubin. Speaking of old shows, or new shows, whatever, or movies. Disney strikes deal for Sony to take over its DVD, Blu-ray disc business. Last week, it was noted that Disney might be wanting to get out of the business of producing physical media, which is a shame because there could be a loss to lose. There could be like Disney not printing its old movies. Which they did in like the early 2000s, in like the 90s and the early 2000s. Remember the Disney Vault? Oh my God, I hated the Disney Vault because you would see those commercials of shows and movies like Lion King. Oh, Lion King Diamond Edition is coming out. It's only going to be available for a limited time. The Disney Vault, basically, let me see when this happened. You'd have movies like Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, stuff you couldn't buy all the time. And I was always concerned about movies. They even put sequels in the vault. The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True. I've seen every single one of these movies. I'm looking at this list. Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure, Return to Neverland, Bambi 2. I've seen every single one of these movies. And Little Mermaid Ariel's Beginning, which is a prequel. But now all this stuff lives on Disney Plus, and streaming has become this giant juggernaut. And physical media, people don't collect things. Again, that bookshelf to over my shoulder if you're watching the video is filled with DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks, movies and TV shows from the late 90s, early 2000s, all the way up until last year. I think that's the last time I bought a disc. I'm still buying discs. I love discs. I put them in my Xbox or my PlayStation, and I let it ride. Every time I tell people that, or they come over and they see that, and they see the collection, they go, "Who still buys discs? This is all about streaming." I'm like, listen, honey, things get taken off of streaming all the time. Things bounce around. Even when it comes, I'll even buy stuff on digital, which I do, which is like the main way I buy things now. But I think it's always important to own something, because I can't tell you, sometimes in this apartment complex, strong wind blows and the internet goes out. And then I just go, okay, well, sometimes you can play a game because now they're all connected online. I think if the internet went out right now, the Steam Deck, I think the Steam Deck, the Xbox, and the PlayStation would all have. That reminds me, did I pay my internet bill? That is a very big reminder for me. Oh my God, it's already been paid. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess so. Whoa. All right. I guess it auto-paid. But now Disney is outsourcing the entertainment, that manufacturing and distributing side to Sony Pictures Entertainment. Not just Blu-rays and DVDs, but other physical media as well. As part of the deal, Sony will market, sell, and distribute all Disney's new releases, catalogs, and catalog titles on physical media to consumers through retailers and distributors in the U.S. and Canada. Disney will continue to manage its own digital media like premium video on demand. Oof, man, that's we have games from Microsoft being published on PlayStation and Nintendo and PC, and then we have Sony games being published on Xbox and PC. It's always so. It still feels odd to see things bounce around like that, but that's how everything has always worked. Abbott Elementary is a very popular show on ABC, but it's produced, I believe, with Warner Brothers, because it's under a Warner Brothers banner. There's plenty of Paramount things that have been produced and released and distributed with other labels and everything. Physical release disc sales have been declining. In the U.S., they've dropped 28% to $748 million in the first half of 2023, compared to the $1.5 billion in the prior year, according to data from trade association DEG, the Digital Entertainment Group. It's my favorite rap group. It projected that 2024 will be the first year revenue drops below $1 billion. Best Buy is getting rid of its DVD and Blu-ray sales in early 2024, or discounted sales of that, and now it's going to move on from that. Netflix's decision, I couldn't turn off the thing. I couldn't turn off the thumbs up thing. Netflix stopped doing its DVD by mail service. Walmart, Amazon, and Redbox are still selling copies of Avatar: Way of Water, Avengers, and things like that. If I knew there were only going to be 5 avatars, I would just buy it on physical. But knowing that he wants to do more, man, just let this thing die. Now, on top of that, the Disney Movie Club is shuttering. This comes from Amrita Khalid over at The Verge. It's about to get even harder to buy some. Oh, wait, it's the same thing. Sorry, excuse me. It's the same thing, but hold on. This comes from this quote is attributed to the rap. We've enjoyed serving you for the last 23 years, but consumer behavior and viewing preferences continue to evolve, so we have made the tough decision to close Disney Movie Club. The Disney Movie Club wrote in a statement. The Movie Club users will have until May 20th to place their last orders, and Disney will officially end the service on July 20th. The Digital Bits reported the closure and the news of the Disney Movie Club shuttering was delivered to the service's 10 million U.S. users as well as the email, as well as service's website on Tuesday. The Disney Movie Club launched in 2021 as a way for people to access a physical, to build up your physical movie selections from Star Wars and then eventually Marvel and all these other movies. New members who signed up for a 2-year contract would receive the first 4 titles for $1, under the condition they purchase at least 5 other movies for full price for the remainder of the contract. It's kind of like the Columbia Music Club or whatever that was. Columbia Tape Club, CD Club, whatever. Although Disney Movie Club prices were often higher than that of physical retail stores or Amazon, the size of its library was unmatched. See, this is where you got a lot of things from the 40s and 50s that were never seen, were never published in mass quantities. Sometimes you get things from the vault. God, my throat is dry. I just did a video interview and hopefully it goes well. A video interview, not for this website, a real actual video interview. Godspeed, Disney Movie Club and physical Disney sales. All right, let's move on to Hollywood Reporter. This comes from Winston Cho. Fubo TV files $1 billion lawsuit seeking to block Disney, Warner's, and Fox Sports streaming platform. That streaming platform is still carrying out ahead. I think we got news today that David Zaslav said that HBO Max will be included with this service as well. So, and then Disney's also expected to put on things that aren't sports related either. So I assume that that shows from Disney Plus and Hulu. And then I believe Fox is set to do the same thing. So I assume that shows that are on Fox Broadcasting as well. But now we also there was a confirmation that I don't want to talk out of school, but I'm going to my email. Let's see. David Zaslav. Okay. I don't want to talk out of school, but I do want to note that David Zaslav did say that HBO Discovery, so all the stuff from Max is going to be on there, and it is noted that the 3 companies plan to. This comes from The Wrap, written by Eileen A.J. Connolly. Too many names. Max will be available in bundle with Mega Sports app. David Zaslav says, and she writes that ESPN Plus, 2U, SECN, ACCN, ESPN News, Fox, FS1, FS2, BTN, TNT, TBS, True TV, and ABC Network will all be on there on a non-exclusive basis. Wow, that's a lot of letters to be put together. Now, Fubo is, again, the streaming platform that is cable, essentially, just like YouTube TV, just like Hulu with live TV, just like Sling TV. And actually, I remember I was in the Sling beta, and I got TV. This is when I was in college, and I got TV over my Xbox, and it was so great to have live TV and not pay for it, and it be a legal thing, and you could just bounce around the networks and stuff. Oh my God, it was the best being in that beta. I love that. And what was that, on Xbox One or Xbox 360? And you could just, it was slow and probably cumbersome, but man, it was great. And I had the futon's gone now, but I had a futon. Yeah, that used to be in this show. I used to sit on it in my second bedroom of my old apartment. That was my bed for a long time, for a couple of months. At first it was an air mattress, and then it was that. But that turned into it became a couch, obviously, when I was watching Sling TV, and then I was going to bed, I would fold it down. And then when I got a real mattress, it became my couch in my bedroom. But yeah, I remember doing that. That was the golden age, golden era. It was like right before streaming hit. I miss those times. I really do. Things were so much easier. I had so much more money when I was a senior in college. The lawsuit filed in New York federal court on Tuesday under seal names Disney, Fox, and Warner, and it seeks to block the joint venture. Is ESPN Plus going to be? Oh my God, ESPN Plus is also going to be in there. Oh, so this one also names that Max, ESPN Plus, and Hulu. Wow, that's crazy. So you're going to be paying $70 a month, let's say, and then you're going to get Max, ESPN Plus, and Hulu. Man, oh man. I'd rather just stay with YouTube TV. I mean, in some case, this if you have YouTube TV, you have no reason to go over to this platform. There's true, or if you have Hulu with live TV, there's no reason. Fubo is the only platform that should be concerned because this is going to offer things that people might already have. But like if you're a Fubo fan, this might offer things that you already have. And also, Fubo is kind of still in the lead because it's got that installed user base. Just because it doesn't have the name, it still has that installed user base, and it also has niche sports that no other place has. The suit accuses the media giants of leveraging their, quote, iron grip on sports content to extract billions of dollars in supra-competitive profits. In some facets, I kind of agree with that. It makes sense. Fubo should probably have done a lot more advertising in the past couple of years. If it had this access to things like cricket and soccer matches that no one else has or really has, according to the release announcing the suit, other examples of behavior that may violate antitrust laws, which this could be antitrust because it's all these conglomerates coming together, include the media companies charging Fubo content licensing fees rates that are as much as 50% higher than the rates they charge to other distributors. That's like blocking out and trying to take down competition implicitly. Defendants also impose non-market penetration requirements, the percentage of total subscribers to which a content package must be sold to or cannot exceed on Fubo, the company said in a statement. These actions individually and collectively increase the cost Fubo must pass on to customers. Fubo believes it sounds like an elbow. Fubo believes it has incurred billions of dollars in damages as a result of the defendant's actions. Wow, Fubo's stock plummeted more than 25% after the announcement. Whoa. Of the streaming venture from the conglomerates. Again, we're just going back to everybody says we're just going back to cable, but now it's just in a different form and function. Insanity. All right, this next one comes from Variety, written by Clayton Davis. 0 black women have won BAFTAs, Best Actress category, in 76 years. So when will they? The BAFTAs, if you don't know, are kind of like the British Oscars. You see people, you see them celebrate every year. Unfortunately, in the past couple of years, it has been noted, that it is a very white affair. People complain about the Oscars. People complain about the Emmys. People complain about every other award show being white affairs. No, I'm talking nominations. I'm talking winners. I'm talking probably even producers and such, except for that one guy who was arrested for sexual assault. He happened to be a black man, unfortunately. It really, really stinks because the BAFTAs often get overlooked for their racial prejudices, and people all the time, those British actors, they'll go, and then every so often somebody will say, oh, it's this black woman haven't been in the thing. But then you look at the actors in the movies. You guys haven't acted with people of color in forever. I think Olivia Colman did her first movie with a black guy a couple years ago. I'm not kidding. I don't know. I don't really recall. God, I haven't looked at her movies over the last 40 years. Sorry, that's very big. She's not that old. Maybe she is. I don't care. I'm kidding. Halle Berry's triumph for Monsters Ball at the Oscars stands prominently, while the BAFTAs lack a similar honoree in the upcoming Sunday ceremony. Seems like they changed that. The year's roster of lead actress nominees, so the BAFTAs already happened, boasts a diverse array of talents. Vivian Oprah garnered attention for her breakthrough role in the romantic drama Rye Lane, alongside Fantasia Barrio's captivating performance in the musical adaptation of The Color Purple. But unfortunately, compared to Sandra Hüller and Carey Mulligan and Emma Stone and Margot Robbie, who people friggin' killed themselves over because she didn't get a nomination, black actresses have not won at BAFTAs in such a long and forever. In response to the viral hashtag BAFTA So White hashtag in 2015, BAFTA pledged to overhaul its nomination process. In 2020, then Chairman Krishnendu Majumdar committed to effecting, quote, meaningful and sustainable progress towards a more inclusive award ceremony and industry at large. Efforts have failed to yield significant changes in winners, particularly evident in the Best Actress category. Instead, the nomination selections draw criticism on notable omissions like Olivia Colman for her movies The Lost Daughter and The Father, instead of their interesting selections. Last year, despite 10 of the 24 nominees across the 4 acting categories being ethnically diverse, BAFTA's eventual winners produced an all-white lineup. Austin Butler, Cate Blanchett, Barry Keoghan, Carrie Condon. Jesus. Now, this year, Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., they're the ones that are going to win for things. A 2018 report from business psychology firm Pern Candola revealed that approximately 94% of all BAFTA winners have been white. 94%! Oh my gosh, a statistic that is likely increased since. The analysis noted a mere 5 BAME, black and minority ethnic, males nominated for leading actor and 6 BAME females for leading actress. Subsequent years have been marginal improvement, with 10 POC nominees added to the leading actor category since 2020, resulting in 1 victory for Will Smith for King Richard. Leading actress nominations have increased by 11, yet victory eludes them. Viola Davis for The Woman King further solidified her position as the most nominated black woman in BAFTA history, alongside nods for Widows, Fences, and The Help. For prospective veteran actress Maggie Smith boasts 4 BAFTA wins. What is it going to take for these nomination committees, for any award show, to actually sit down and not nominate somebody just because of their prestigiousness? Again, it also, I don't know who's the voting BAFTA committee. Denzel Washington has never received a BAFTA nomination, which is insane. Although supporting actor categories for POC in the past 25 years, including wins by Puerto Rican actors Benicio del Toro and Ariana DeBose. Wow. Those are the only 2 Puerto Ricans who have won for POC representation the past 25 years. Or like for POC representation, excuse me. Anyway. It's when is it going to come for these? You can't complain about it and then not do anything about it. There have been so many movies that have come out in the past year where people can be nominated for anything, and I mean that's like any year. But what I'm getting at is there's a lot of talk, and when it comes to shows like the Oscars, when it comes to shows like the Emmys, when it comes to shows like SAG, it's your peers that are voting for you. And if those people don't get up on stage, if they want to get up on stage and then talk the talk but never walk the walk, then it's not going to happen anytime soon in the future. And it's unfair for your actors to, your fellow actors to be subjected to voting from their peers and not really be given actual chances. Like this next part. This comes from Tom Tapp at Deadline. Women-led films fell close to 30% in 2023. That's near a 10-year low from a study, that says. That's studies from USC Annenberg Inclusion Initiative. Wow. The percentage of women of color, and women 45 plus in films released in North America in 2023 plummeted to lows not even seen in almost a decade. I just found the longest hair It's not my hair, and a woman has not been in this apartment for a couple of. Okay, I don't want to date myself. I did go to the grocery store this morning, so maybe that was it. I was at the gym this morning, so maybe that was it. Yeah, and I had a date. All right. The percentages for these numbers haven't been that bad, haven't been this bad since 2014, even with Barbie included in the thing. And for all the crap I give Greta Gerwig, at least that had some amount of women in it. USC Annenberg analyzed the, quote, gender identity, racial ethnicity, and age of leads and co-leads across the top 100 grossing films from 2007 to 2023, which encompassed more than 1,700 titles in all. These are not good numbers. They stress that one film, even if it's the year's biggest, cannot make up for the relative dearth of representation in the remaining offerings. All right, let's take a look at these numbers. The DI efforts are failing women and girls as protagonists, as is what the name of this chart is. In 2007, there were 20 movies. Across 1,700 films, there are 20 movies of the top 100 grossing. There are 20 movies in 2007 that had leading female actresses, leads and co-leads and all that stuff. 31% in 2023. It was at a peak in 2019 with 43%. 2022 at 44%. Oh, it's disgusting. And the numbers fluctuate year over year. And they dropped this year for the first time since 2014. Again, as I mentioned before. Age-wise, only 3 solo-led or co-led movies last year featured a woman 45 years of age or older at the time of theatrical release. Cocaine Bear with Kerry Russell, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 with Nia Vardalos, and Magic Mike's Last Dance with Salma Hayek. In fact, for every one film led/co-led by an older woman, there were 10 plus led/co-led by an older man. Let's get down to more numbers. The breakdown of representation by distributor female leads/co-leads includes Disney at 46.1%, Paramount at 44.4%, Warner Brothers at 38.5%, Universal Pictures at 21.1%, and Lionsgate at 20%. As for racial ethnic leads/co-leads, Disney at 38.5%, Warner at 38.5%, Sony at 30.8%, Paramount at 22.2%, Lionsgate at 20%. There's also this fact that they have to hire people, the women behind the camera. The numbers, as read in this deadline piece, would seem to indicate a relationship between who is working behind the camera and who is seen in front of it. Of the 30 films with a girl or woman in the lead or co-lead role, 36.7% were directed by a woman, and 63.3% were directed by a man. In contrast, the films that did not have a woman or a girl in the co-lead or lead role, only 4.3% were directed by women. For women directors, a likelihood of roughly half, 51.3% of the films with an underrepresented lead/co-lead had an underrepresented director, while 48.7% did not. Again, it really just comes, underrepresented directors were much less likely to work on films with leads/co-leads who were not underrepresented, which means that they paired Black directors with Black actors, Latino directors with Latino actors, Asian directors with Asian actors. Less than 10% of the top grossing films without an underrepresented lead had an underrepresented director, while 90.5% had a white director. Oof. Again, as I mentioned before, it really comes down to people having to stand up and fight for the people who don't have a voice, and when you don't do that, it really stinks, and it hinders the progress of all of the industry at large. This final bit comes from Wall Street Journal, Written by Jessica Tunkel and Amal Sharma. It was kind of mentioned in passing, and no one's really talked about it since. But Paramount Plus owner has discussed combining it with Comcast Peacock. Both Paramount Plus and Peacock, Paramount Plus is kind of sinking, not sinking, but just slowly deflating. The lead it used to have, but now it's just slowly been deflating the past couple of years. And Peacock is a loss leader. I wouldn't even say a leader. I'll just say it's a loss. But it's doing better than a lot of other Comcast things. Now, there's Warner Brothers and Disney and Fox Broadcasting are coming together to do this sports thing, essentially leaving Paramount and Comcast out in the dirt. So what are these two to do but to get together and maybe partner up on their own streaming service? Bringing the two streaming apps under one roof could produce significant cost savings from spending on programming to marketing and create a more in-depth offering for consumers, especially with regard to live sports. A commercial partnership or joint venture are among the arrangements the companies could pursue. Now, if we remember correctly, we've done this before. Again, we're all bundling back up to some type of cable-ish platform. I think just not even like one streaming app, but I think partnering up and maybe doing just how many ways can you get Max? You can go to Verizon. You can get it with now Disney and this Fox thing in the fall or next year. I think in the fall or next year. You can get bundles every which way. It should just be bundles. You don't need to have and then like let's have bundles have contracts run out. You don't have to have one app for everything. This is becoming egregious, and it's really hurting the consumer in the process. And we know it's expensive to run a streaming platform. Look at Netflix. But you don't have to be Netflix. They're succeeding because they went gung-ho at a time when no one else was doing it. And now they're so far ahead, you're just trying to play catch up. And you're never going to catch up. No one ever will. We thought when Disney Plus came out that it was going to happen, but it kind of had its peak and then leveled out. No one's ever going to play catch up to Netflix at this point. Paramount's been trying to find a way to sell its assets or to sell itself. Its parent company, National Amusements, has been trying to find a way to sell. And they're still kind of up in the air on that. Sherry Redstone, the boss of National Amusements, has taken talks with Skydance, has taken talks with other businesses like Warner. There's no way for any of this to work and be sustainable. And I know at this point, a lot of companies like Paramount are bleeding cash because of these streaming properties, but don't do this. And I'm not saying this as somebody who will more than likely buy it, whatever this is, even if it's going to be $15, it'll save me money on both Paramount Plus and Peacock. Don't do this. This feels anti-consumer. Because we just got Paramount Plus. We just got it just got Showtime. Peacock is still getting in its groove. Team up for a bundle. That's the thing that'll work for you right now. But throwing away an app and trying to get people to move over to another thing, look at Max. People are still chastising Max as the dumbest name. I still call it HBO Max. And people have been proven, you're not Netflix. Netflix, they can put on a password sharing blocker thing and people will sign up, as we've seen in these Q4 results of the past quarter. That's what Q4 means. But Paramount and Peacock, they're not Netflix. You're not going to be able to right-size the ship by making one app, because I think the regular consumer is going to say, "Oh, Paramount Plus is gone." Okay, and then they're going to move on, or they're going to go to Amazon channels and go, "Oh, that's where it is," and they're going to get through that way, and you're going to get less money that way because Amazon's taking a piece of the pie. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that whole situation. Look, if you liked what you heard here, head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where I sit down and talk to your favorite people in the entertainment industry. The most recent interaction is with the comedian Chris Martin. We talked about his new debut album that just came, not debut, I think it might be his sophomore. I think it might be his debut. I don't remember. It was a great conversation, though, and it just came out today, the day that this releases. It is above average comedian. He's a very funny guy. He's British. And yes, we do talk about his name in relation to the show, to the Coldplay singer. It's a great conversation. You can watch a video version of that. You can listen to the audio version that just came out prior to this. We watch a video version of that on youtube.com/cpluscomedy under the show The Interviews. Yes, a very good title. You can also watch video versions of the other podcasts I do, LinkedIn Logs, which is the Jobs podcast, and Late Night Lately, which is on hiatus this week, which is the Late Late Show podcast. What is the tagline of that show? I think it's like, am I just Googling Late Night Lately podcast? Okay. Late Night Lately podcast. It is the Late Late Show, right? Hold on. It's the Late Late Show podcast. I don't know. Who cares? Listen to the show. It's fun. I do late night stuff. If you want to see, again, video version of the show, it's on youtube.com/cpluscomedy and all that stuff. Go to the website. Do that. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, @cpluscomedy. Me on all those platforms, @ChadBlackWhite. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. And I'm going to keep vamping until it gets to the part where I could actually throw to the outro and just bring up the music ever so slightly. And that's coming right about now.